15 pairs of Italian verbs that have similar meanings, but you're probably using them wrong. So in this lesson, you'll finally understand the difference between 15 of the most commonly confused verbs in Italian. Verbs like sapere and conoscere, vedere and guardare, dire and parlare, and many more. Plus, you'll learn some clever memory tricks and real-life examples to remember exactly which verb to use and when. And I've even included a fun quiz at the end so you can test everything that you've learned in this lesson. And don't worry about taking notes, I've done all the hard work for you. To help you to practice everything you're about to learn here today, make sure you download your free PDF cheat sheet. You can find a link to that in the description box below this video. Pronti? Are you ready? Iniziamo! Let's get started. Ciao, my name is Michelle. That's Michelle with one L because I was born in Australia and my dad named me after my nonno Michele. But I didn't speak a word of Italian growing up. I learned it as an adult and now I help thousands of students like you do the same using my unique 80-20 method. So if you want to learn Italian, connect with your heritage, or just have more authentic travel experiences in Italy, you're in the right place. For more details about my online self-paced courses, just visit intrepiditalian.com or click on the link in the description below this video. Okay, let's start with the first pair of Italian verbs that are always confused. They are
essere, stare.
Now these two verbs can mean to be, which makes them really easy to mix up. They even share the same past participle, stato, just to complicate things even further. Essere, to be, is used to talk about the identity or essential characteristics of a person or thing. That includes names, origins, physical traits, personality, and more. You'll also use it to describe where something is or where someone is. Take a look at these examples.
Mio fratello è biondo.
My brother is blonde, referring to a physical trait.
Giulio e Andrea sono ancora in palestra.
Giulio and Andrea are still at the gym. This is a temporary location. Stare, meaning to stay or to be, on the other hand, is what you use to talk about temporary situations, a state of being, or how someone is feeling, and also ongoing actions. Take a look at these examples.
Stiamo calmi.
Let's stay calm. This is a temporary state.
Cosa state facendo?
What are you doing? This is an ongoing action. So just remember, essere refers to a permanent trait or a location, while stare refers to a temporary situation or ongoing actions. Now, if you want to learn the top 25 Italian verbs that you should learn first, make sure you watch my video lesson right here. Now let's move on to the next pair of Italian verbs that are always confused. They are
Giocare, suonare.
Now these verbs translate to play in English, but their use in Italian is a bit more specific depending on what you're playing. Giocare is for when you're talking about playing sports, games, or anything competitive or fun. Think board games, toys, card games, football, and so on. It's usually followed by the preposition a, meaning at, which introduces the game or sport being played. Take a look at these examples.
Adoro giocare a carte con mio nonno.
I love playing cards with my grandpa.
I miei figli giocano a pallacanestro.
My kids play basketball. Suonare is your go-to verb when you're playing a musical instrument or something is making a sound, like an alarm clock or a horn. Take a look at these examples.
Da piccolo suonavo il pianoforte, poi ho smesso.
When I was little, I played the piano, but then I stopped.
A scuola la campanella suona alle 8.
At school, the bell rings at 8 o'clock. So just remember, giocare means to play games and sports, while suonare means to play an instrument or to play a sound. Are you enjoying this lesson? Don't let the learning stop here. Make sure you download your free PDF cheat sheet for this lesson, which you'll find a link to below this video. Moving on to the next pair of Italian verbs. They are
Vedere, guardare.
Now, both vedere and guardare involve your eyes and typically translate to see in English. But in Italian, there's a big difference in how and why you see something. Vedere is about passively seeing something, like noticing something in your line of sight. You're not actively looking for it, it just shows up. Take a look at these examples.
Ho visto che hanno chiuso il centro storico. Cos'è successo?
I saw they closed the historic centre. What happened?
Ho perso gli occhiali e non vedo niente.
I lost my glasses and I can't see a thing. Now, in both cases, you didn't decide to look, you just noticed. Guardare is all about intent. You're choosing to focus your attention on something, like watching a movie, admiring a view, or staring at your phone. Take a look at these examples.
Ragazze, guardate quella borsa. È stupenda.
Girls, look at that bag. It's gorgeous.
Cosa stai guardando?
What are you looking at? Notice how in both examples, you're not just seeing, you're deliberately looking. So just remember, vedere is when you see something by chance. Guardare is you're looking at something on purpose. Want to double your Italian vocabulary? Don't miss my lesson right here, and I'll show you 160 words that you didn't know that you knew that you can add to your repertoire. Moving on to the next set of Italian verbs. They are
Sentire, ascoltare.
just like we use vedere and guardare referring to seeing something, sentire and ascoltare both have to do with your ears, but they're all about different levels of attention. Sentire means to perceive something with your senses, mainly hearing, but also feeling, tasting, or smelling. It's mostly passive, meaning you hear a noise or you feel the cold, you smell a scent or taste something without actively trying to. Take a look at these examples.
Perché non rispondi? Non senti il telefono?
Why aren't you answering? Don't you hear the phone?
Sento freddo. Vado a prendere la giacca.
I feel the cold. I'm going to grab a jacket. Ascoltare, on the other hand, means to listen actively. You're not just hearing sounds around you, you're focusing and paying attention to them intentionally. Take a look at these examples.
Dimmi qual è il problema. Ti ascolto.
Tell me what's wrong. I'm listening.
Non intendo più ascoltare questi stupidi pettegolezzi.
I'm done listening to these stupid rumours. So just remember, sentire means to hear or to feel, taste or smell something passively, while ascoltare means to listen on purpose. Moving on to the next set of verbs, we have
Sapere, conoscere.
Now both sapere and conoscere mean to know in English, but in Italian they cover very different kinds of knowing. Sapere is about knowing facts, information, or skills. It's often followed by the conjunction che, meaning that, when you're sharing what you know. Take a look at these examples.
So dire buongiorno in 5 lingue.
I know how to say good morning in 5 languages.
Ho saputo che ti sposi. Congratulazioni!
I heard or found out that you're getting married. Congratulations! Conoscere, on the other hand, means knowing someone or something because you've met them or you've experienced it firsthand. It's also commonly paired with piacere, to like, when greeting someone new, as in
Piacere di conoscerti.
this is the informal form, and
Piacere di conoscerla.
the formal way, both meaning nice to meet you. Take a look at these examples.
Laura conosce tutte le canzoni di Eros Ramazzotti a memoria.
Laura knows all of the Eros Ramazzotti songs by heart.
Ieri abbiamo conosciuto la moglie di Matteo.
Yesterday we met Matteo's wife. So just remember, sapere is for knowing facts and skills. Conoscere is used for people, places or things you know well. Are you enjoying this lesson? Don't let the learning stop here. Make sure you download your free PDF cheat sheet, which you'll find a link to in the description below this video. Moving on to the next set of verbs, we have
Andare, venire.
Now, these two verbs often confuse students because they both translate to go or come in English. But in Italian, there's a clear distinction, and it all depends on where you're going and who you're talking to. Andare is used to describe moving away from your current spot and also away from the listener. Take a look at these examples.
Andiamo in palestra una volta a settimana.
We go to the gym once a week.
Domani vado a Milano per incontrare un cliente.
Tomorrow I'm going to Milan to meet a client. Venire is for when you're going to a place where the other person is or will be. Take a look at these examples.
Veniamo anche noi al concerto.
We're coming to the concert too.
La prossima settimana vengo a Napoli. Ceniamo insieme?
I'm coming to Naples next week. How about dinner together? So just remember, andare means going away from both you and the person you're talking to. Venire is used when you're going towards the person you're talking to or you're joining them. Need more examples and explanations? I've got a whole guide on how to use andare and venire in Italian. Just click on this video right here. Alright, moving on to the next set of verbs. We have
Capire, conoscere.
Now, in English, we often use to know and to understand interchangeably, but in Italian, capire, to understand, and conoscere, to know, are two totally different verbs. Capire is all about understanding something. It's what you use when you're trying to mentally grasp an idea, a situation, or what someone's saying. Take a look at these examples.
Capisci quello che sto cercando di dire?
Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Odio la matematica. Non capisco niente.
I hate math. I don't understand anything. Conoscere, on the other hand, is about familiarity. You use it when you know a place, a person, or a thing because you've met them, or you've been there, or you've experienced it in some way. Take a look at these examples.
Conosci il marito di Cristina?
Do you know Christina's husband?
Conosco quel ristorante. Si mangia molto bene.
I know that restaurant. The food is good there. So if you try to say, I don't understand what you mean with,
Non conosco cosa vuoi dire.
consider that what you're really saying is something like, I haven't been introduced to your idea. Poetic for sure, but rather confusing. So just remember, capire is used for understanding ideas or concepts. Conoscere is used for knowing people, places, or things. Moving on to the next set of verbs, we have
Dire. Parlare.
the verbs dire and parlare have to do with using words to express something, and in English they often translate to say or to speak, but in Italian they're not really synonyms. Dire, meaning to say or to tell, focuses on the specific message being communicated. You use it when you're telling someone something concrete, and that message often appears as a direct object in the sentence, usually introduced by the conjunction che, that. Take a look at these examples.
Stefania dice sempre quello che pensa.
Stefania always says what she thinks.
Ho detto a Matteo che non lo amo più.
I told Matteo I don't love him anymore. Parlare, meaning to speak or to talk, is about the act of speaking. It's used when describing a conversation, discussing a topic, or talking in general. Unlike dire, parlare doesn't emphasize the specific content being said, and it's never followed by a direct object. The only exception is when you're talking about speaking a language, in which case parlare can be followed directly by the name of the language. Take a look at these examples.
Parlo fluentemente francese e spagnolo.
I speak French and Spanish fluently. More in general, if you want to specify what you're talking about or discussing, you'll need to use the preposition di, meaning about. Take a look at these examples.
Abbiamo parlato del problema con la preside.
We discussed the issue with the principal.
Parliamo spesso di politica.
We often talk about politics. So just remember, Dire refers to the message you say to someone, while parlare refers to the act of speaking itself. Are you enjoying this lesson? Don't let the learning stop here. Make sure you download your free PDF cheat sheet, which you'll find a link to in the description below this video. Moving on to the next set of verbs, we have 3, which are
Mangiare, pranzare, cenare.
all 3 verbs relate to eating. Buon appetito! But they differ based on the time of day. Mangiare means to eat in general, anytime and anywhere. Take a look.
La domenica mangiamo sempre al ristorante.
On Sundays, we always eat at the restaurant.
Hai mangiato? Ti preparo qualcosa?
Have you eaten? Shall I make something? Pranzare is specifically about eating lunch. Take a look.
Pranziamo insieme oggi?
How about lunch together today?
Avete già pranzato?
Have you already had lunch? Cenare means to have dinner. For example, you can say,
Stasera ceno fuori.
tonight I'm eating out.
Di solito ceniamo tardi.
We usually have dinner late. So just remember, mangiare means eating in general. Pranzare means to have lunch, while cenare means to have dinner. So what about breakfast and having snacks? Well, you can't say
Mangiare la colazione.
to eat breakfast or
Mangiare uno spuntino.
to eat a snack. Instead, Italians use the verb fare to do or to make, and they say
Fare colazione.
to have breakfast,
Fare uno spuntino.
to have a snack,
Fare aperitivo.
to have an aperitif. Want to make a good impression at your next meal out? Check out my video lesson here on how to order food and drinks in Italian. Moving on to the next set of verbs, we have
Lavorare. Funzionare.
Now here's another classic case where one verb in English, to work, splits into 2 very different verbs in Italian. Lavorare means to work in the sense of doing a job or carrying out tasks that require physical or mental effort. In other words, it's what people do for a living. Take a look at these examples.
Mia figlia lavora per una grossa multinazionale.
My daughter works for a big multinational company.
Mio nonno ha lavorato tanti anni in Germania.
My grandfather worked in Germany for many years. On the other hand, funzionare means to work, as in to function or to operate properly. It's the kind of working that applies to machines, devices, or systems. Take a look at these examples.
Questo computer non funziona più. È ora di cambiarlo.
This computer doesn't work anymore. It's time to replace it.
Come funziona questo aspirapolvere?
How does this vacuum work? So just remember, lavorare refers to people and professions, while funzionare refers to the working of things. Moving on to the next set of verbs, we have
Fermare. Smettere.
fermare and smettere translate to stop in English, but again they're not interchangeable in Italian because they describe 2 very different kinds of stopping. Fermare is used when physically stopping someone or something, like stopping a person, a vehicle, or an action that's in motion. It usually involves an interruption caused by an outside force. Take a look at these examples.
Hanno fermato un taxi davanti al bar e sono scappati.
They stopped in a taxi in front of the bar and ran away.
La polizia ha fermato il traffico per qualche minuto.
The police stopped the traffic for a few minutes. Now, when you stop yourself, it becomes a reflexive verb, fermarsi. Take a look at these examples.
Mi fermo sempre a bere un caffè prima di entrare in ufficio.
I always stop for a coffee before going into the office.
Dopo la presentazione ci siamo fermati a parlare con la stampa.
After the presentation, we stopped to chat with the press. Smettere means to quit or stop an activity, something you're choosing to no longer do, typically actions or habits. It's always followed by the preposition di plus the infinitive. Take a look at these examples.
Devi smettere di preoccuparti sempre per tutti.
You need to stop worrying about everything.
Finalmente hai smesso di fumare. Bravo!
You finally quit smoking. Well done. So just remember, fermare refers to stopping something or someone physically. Smettere means stopping or quitting an activity or a habit. Now, to learn how and when to use Italian reflexive verbs, make sure you watch my video lesson right here. Are you enjoying this lesson? Don't let the learning stop here. Make sure you download your free PDF cheat sheet, which you'll find a link to in the description below this video. Moving on to the next set of verbs, we have
Uscire, partire.
Now, both uscire and partire translate to leave in English, but they refer to different types of leaving, of course. Now, uscire means to go out or to exit. It's used when you're leaving an enclosed space, like your house or your car, and usually implies you're going to be back soon or you're just going out socially. Take a look at these examples.
Per arrivare in tempo, dobbiamo uscire di casa alle 7 di mattina.
To be on time, we need to leave the house at 7 a.m.
Esco sempre con le mie amiche il venerdì sera.
I always go out with my girlfriends on Friday nights. Partire means to leave in the sense of departing. It's used when you're setting off on a journey that involves transportation. It usually implies a longer or more purposeful trip, like traveling for work or on a vacation. Take a look at these examples.
A che ora parte il prossimo treno per Milano?
What time does the next train to Milan leave?
Finalmente sabato partiamo per le vacanze.
We're finally leaving for our vacation on Saturday. So just remember, uscire refers to leaving a space temporarily or going out socially, while partire means departing, often for a trip, usually with transportation involved. Moving on to the next set of verbs, we have three, which are
Chiedere, domandare, pregare.
Now, all three verbs can be translated to ask in English, but in Italian, each one carries its own nuance, depending on how you're asking, who you're asking, and the tone behind it. Chiedere is the most common and versatile of the three. It means to ask in the sense of requesting something, whether it's an object or a favor or even information. Take a look at these examples.
Ho chiesto a Serena di arrivare un po' prima stasera.
I asked Serena to arrive a bit earlier tonight.
Scusa, posso chiederti che ore sono, per favore?
Excuse me, can I ask you what time it is, please? Domandare also means to ask, but it sounds a bit more formal or literary than chiedere. It's perfectly correct, but less common in everyday speech. For example, you can say,
Domando scusa, sa dirmi dov'è la stazione?
Pardon me, can you tell me where the station is? You'll often see it in its reflexive form, domandarsi, meaning to wonder or to ask oneself. For example,
Spesso mi domando come sarebbe andata a finire tra noi.
I often wonder how things would have ended between us. Pregare literally means to pray, but in everyday Italian, it's also used to beg or to ask with urgency or humility. It suggests a stronger emotional tone, like pleading with someone. For example, you can say,
Ti prego, ascoltami.
Please, I'm begging you, listen to me.
Li ho pregati di aspettarci, ma sono andati via.
We begged them to wait for us, but they left. So just remember, chiedere refers to asking in general, and it's the most common. Domandare means to ask. It's a bit more formal or reflective, while pregare is more to beg and ask urgently. It's more emotional and adds a touch of humility. Attenzione, you can almost always use chiedere instead of domandare or pregare, but not the other way around. For example, you cannot say,
Non so a che ora parte il treno. Dovete pregare il controllore.
Instead, you should say,
Non so a che ora parte il treno. Dovete chiedere al controllore.
I don't know what time the train leaves. you have to ask the conductor. And you can't say,
Domando venia, signori. Potete farmi passare?
instead, you should say,
Chiedo venia, signori. Potete farmi passare?
I beg your pardon, gentlemen, may I pass? So, when in doubt, go with chiedere. It's the most versatile option. Okay, moving on to the next set of verbs. We have,
Ricordare. Ricordarsi.
now these verbs sound quite similar and both have to do with remembering. But while they're often used interchangeably, there are important differences in when and how to use them. Ricordare means to remember something specific or to remind someone. It's a transitive verb, so it's typically followed by a direct object. Take a look at these examples.
Non ricordo dove ho appoggiato la borsa.
I don't remember where I put my bag.
Per favore, ricorda a papà di venire a prendermi da Giulia stasera.
Please remind Dad to pick me up at Julia's tonight. Ricordarsi is the pronominal form of ricordare and is mainly used when talking about remembering to do something or not forgetting something. It's mostly intransitive and usually is followed by the preposition di, meaning of, plus the full verb infinitive. Take a look at these examples.
Ricordati di comprare il pane prima di tornare a casa.
Remember to buy bread before coming home.
Vi siete ricordati di spegnere il gas?
Did you remember to turn off the gas? So remember, ricordare means to remember something specific or remind someone, while ricordarsi means to remember to do something and not to forget. Okay, moving on to the next set of verbs. We have,
Aspettare. Aspettarsi.
now this is another interesting pair of Italian verbs that look and sound very much the same, but again have different meanings. Aspettare means to wait or to await, the simple act of waiting for someone or something. Take a look at these examples.
Sto aspettando il treno per Firenze.
I'm waiting for the train to Florence.
Aspetta qui. Torno subito.
Wait here, I'll be right back. Aspettarsi is the pronominal form and means to expect or to anticipate. It describes the idea of looking forward to something happening rather than just the physical act of waiting for it. Take a look at these examples.
Non ci aspettiamo ritardi nella consegna del progetto.
We don't expect delays in the project delivery.
Come minimo, mi aspetto che mi chieda scusa.
At the very least, I expect them to apologize. So just remember, aspettare focuses on the action of waiting, while aspettarsi focuses on expecting or anticipating something. So how well do you know your Italian verbs now? Let's test it. It's time to take this quiz and see how much you remember. You're going to see 10 sentences that you'll need to complete using the correct verb. Let me know what your score is in the comments. Okay, the first question is,
Stasera organizzo una cena a casa mia con un po' di amici. Ti va di A. Andare. B. Venire.
and the correct answer is,
B. Venire.
now with venire, the movement is towards the speaker, thus fitting an invitation, while andare implies moving away from both your current location and the person you're talking to. Moving on to the second question. Take a look.
Come i tuoi genitori? Salutameli. A. Sono. B. Stanno.
And the answer is?
B. Stanno.
Remember that stare describes temporary states or conditions, like how someone is feeling, while essere refers to more permanent characteristics. Here's the next question. Take a look.
Sai come questa lavatrice? A. Funziona. B. Lavora.
And the answer is?
A. Funziona.
Now remember that funzionare is how machines or devices operate. Lavorare is for people working. Moving on to the next question. Take a look.
Non possiamo più. Siamo già in ritardo di mezz'ora. A. Aspettare. B. Aspettarci.
And the answer is?
A. Aspettare.
Now, aspettare means to wait physically, while aspettarsi means to expect mentally. Moving on to the next question. Take a look.
Abbiamo per ore. È stato bellissimo. A. Detto. B. Parlato.
And the answer is?
B. Parlato.
Now, parlare fits here because it means having a conversation, while dire focuses on saying something specific. Now, don't forget to share your final score at the end. Until then, moving on to the next question. Take a look.
Giocavo a calcio, ma ho dovuto perché mi faceva male il ginocchio. A. Fermare. B. Smettere.
And the correct answer is?
B. Smettere.
Now, smettere is for quitting or ceasing an action, whereas fermare means to physically stop something or someone. Moving on to the next question. Take a look.
Hai lavorato tanti anni a Roma. Sono sicura che... Bene la città. A. Sai. B. Conosci.
And the answer is?
B. Conosci.
Now, conoscere is used for being familiar with a place, person or thing, while sapere is for knowing facts or how to do something. Okay, we've got a few more questions left. Take a look at this next one.
Quando ero piccola, passavo ore a... con le bambole. A. Giocare. B. Suonare.
And the answer is?
A. Giocare.
Now remember that giocare means to play games, sports, or with toys, like dolls, while suonare means to play a musical instrument. 2 more questions left. Take a look at this next question.
Per caso avete la mia borsa? A. Guardato. B. Visto.
And the answer is?
B. Visto.
Now, vedere means to see in general or accidentally, while guardare means to look at intentionally. Okay, the last question is?
Ragazzi, con attenzione quello che sto per... A. Ascoltate. Dire. B. Sentite. Parlare.
And the answer is?
A. Ascoltate. Dire.
Now, as you remember, ascoltare means to listen attentively, and dire refers to saying something specific. On the other hand, sentire is passive hearing, and parlare focuses on the active speaking, not on what is said. Now, how did you go? Let me know your final score in the comments. I can't wait to see it. Now, to continue your learning and to help you practice all these verbs that you've learned here today and their uses, make sure you download your free PDF cheat sheet. Again, you'll find a link to that below this video. If you enjoyed this lesson, then you'll love Intrepid Italian, my series of online self-paced video courses that break down everything you need to know about Italian using my unique 80-20 method. More details in the description below. Now, if you enjoyed this lesson, don't miss my lesson on how to cheat your way to fluency. Watch this video right here. Plus, if you want to master Italian word order and sentence structure, this video here is for you. In the meantime, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and turn on those notifications so you get an alert when I post more video lessons like this one. Until next time, un abbraccio. Ciao!